Everyone has a piece to share. I do not want to be that important, because if I'm that important, that means I have more dependents, than I have assistance, than I have people to lean on, than I have people to learn from. Pan-African Support Group is another entity in the Virgin Islands that has a wealth of information, cultural information, historical information, that students can learn from, such as the environmental rangers. Anybody in here from the environmental rangers? Correct. Okay. And African Liberation Day is one of the holidays that we celebrate. There are many others. If we were to celebrate all the holidays, there wouldn't be need for a calendar. We would just go based on, this is Martin Luther King Day, this is Sojourner Truth Day, this is Hubert Harrison Day, this is Wilbert Blyden Day, this is
Marley Day,
Marcus Garvey Day. That might not be so bad, actually. Might not be so bad. But what we're seeing here, just so that you know, are not only photographs by students like these, but photographs of what the students have been doing over the past 4 to 5 years. There's the radio station, that's the Sankofa Saturdays youth radio program, that's on at Saturdays, 4 p.m., WUBI 1090 a.m., every Saturday at 4 p.m. It's also streaming live on the internet for those who can't catch the signal, and WUBI.am. So you can also hear it on your computers or your mobile devices that have connection to the internet. It's still building. These pictures over here right now, I believe all of these were printed last year for our printed exhibit, which was held at the Reichhold Center around this same day last year, around the same time. And there are pictures from all over St. Thomas, maybe some of St. John and some of St. Croix. And we have a little bit from Water Island as well, because the point is, a lot of the students in the Virgin Islands unfortunately stay on the island that they're on, and they don't really move over. I know many students who've never been to St. John that lived on St. Thomas for so much of their life, much less St. Croix, and not even Water Island. And there's history, African history to learn from each of these islands. And names that we don't know yet, names that we haven't learned. Some of them are just pictures of some of the children, because the focus isn't just on the past and those who are doing things that are older than them. The point is their importance now. They're the ones that are being taught to do the documenting. And they may not, this is a very important point that helps Sankofa Saturdays to continue. They may not be interested in the content initially. We know that. They may not think they're interested in the content that we're trying to teach initially, but they are interested in using the tools. So if you get them to use the tools, they automatically are getting the content. And we have an issue with reading comprehension. If you get them to use the tools and edit the content, you are indirectly teaching them comprehension skills. So these are other ways of educating that are outside of everything that you're saying is being recorded in the device that you're holding. Everything that you're saying. That's the fun thing about devices. So, reading comprehension, content, indirectly being taught by teaching them how to use the tools. So if you put the focus on the tools, but we keep the focus on the content, they will get the content. And they've forgotten that they are in love with the content of our culture and our history. They've forgotten, because we've forgotten to show them how much we love the content of African history and culture. So when we show them that we remember, it trickles down. So using the tools, they're able to then do editing of the content, and that could be photography and photo editing, videography and video editing, audio recording, audio editing. Let's just use those three. If they record a cultural event and they have to edit audio, they have to repeat the audio in order to splice it up the way they need it, in order to have it at exactly 30 seconds or exactly 60 seconds. So they're continually listening to whatever was said again and again. Same thing with video. They're continually watching what was said again and again. They don't have to pay attention. It is getting to them. The more you keep them around things, the more it becomes part of their nature. You play a song that you don't like the first time, you want to turn it off. Let someone play that song every day for a month. You're going to start dancing to that song. That's the power of sound. That's the power of media. That's why commercials work. You don't have to tell your child, like this certain toy. Just put the commercial on every 20 minutes in between their favorite show. That's what it's for. That's what media and commercials are for. To get people to want something that they really don't even need. So we can use that same technique in the other direction positively to impress upon students, children, communities, whatever we want. Whatever the content is, learn from the techniques. There's a lot of Arab stores around. Do we have issues with Arabs? Are they great business people?
Yes.
Can we learn from that?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need more African stores?
Yes.
Why don't we have them? Rhetorical question. I don't want the answer right now. But the point is, everyone that's doing something that works, we can learn from. Don't focus on the content. Focus on what's working, and let's use that together and build on it with the content that we want. They all have some sort of devices that they're interested in using. Cell phones, flipped cameras. Those are video cameras, by the way, that are used in the program. Audio recorders. All of these tools, digital cameras, and computers, of course. All of these tools are things that they think are fun. But everything that they're doing on them are things that we would actually want them to do right now. They're not just video games just for entertainment. Not that anything is wrong with that, because you need some of that too. But if they like video games so much, why don't we start teaching them how to create video games? What they learn from creating a video game, they cannot learn from just reading a book. They cannot learn from just going to school. They cannot learn from just us talking to them. There's too much of us talking to them and not them talking to themselves and listening to themselves. So Sankofa Saturdays was created for the purpose of shifting the schooling that happens during the week to what we feel we need to get back to in rebuilding the village, and using the mentality of rebuilding the village so that people come out to support, teaching them how to better support, helping us continue to live. So, dua to those who are here, thank you. And I want to give my moot, this is my spiritual mother, Dr. Chanzira Kahina, an opportunity to share whatever she has to about Sankofa Saturdays that I may have missed or that needs to be reiterated. Again, the pictures that you're seeing, and you're only seeing a few of them, are pictures based on activities that the students have been participating in within the past 4 or so years. And that includes anything from culture and history tours on the island to sailboat racing on the waterfront with the yachts, to theater and the arts, learning videography at Historical Theater, to Yacht Haven Grand, participating in outdoor theater by youth, and then they went and documented the outdoor theater by youth. So you have youth doing the acting and doing the recording. All that's missing is the youth doing the writing of what's being acted. Thank you. Yes?
I just wanted to make a comment in terms of your efforts with videography and media. It is actually majors in many colleges. The industry is called gaming. And all that these kids are doing, it's actually, they give confirmed degrees. So it can take you well beyond what you're doing here.
And I think with every aspect of the subject matter that is being taught, broadcast. I mean, even photography by itself, without a connection to anything else. What they're doing up there is they're on one of the extremely high lifts to take pictures of the sailboat racing. And they're just, having fun doing that. Some of them, on that screen right there, before I forget, that screen right there, that is a slideshow put together by youth in the summer program that I have had the opportunity to merge Sankofa Saturdays with, and that is the 4-H summer program at the University of the Virgin Islands. It is a 4-H program, and I learned a lot of what I learned from being a 4-H summer camper all of my youth years. And 4-H is about experiential learning, so learning by doing, again, in any subject matter. So that's a slideshow that was put together by them, and it shows the different things that they did, different things that they documented, and some of the people that were involved in doing that. We have millions of photos, millions. What you're seeing here is this many of them. And what we could use help with is keeping them organized and separating those that are for creating DVDs that could go for sale, some that are for creating slideshows that could go for sale. That's the next part of Sankofa Saturdays, creating the products. Mr. Bailey has been on my case for the past 2 years with getting to the point of creating the products. Haven't forgotten, just need more support with doing it. We have everything we need right now. We don't need to go to another cultural event in the Virgin Islands and document it. And we already have everything we need to create products, calendars, posters, mugs, anything that we want. And before I forget, this fabric is our symbolic representation right now of one of the other Sankofa Saturdays family members, Jastaras Kanaya. This fabric was made in Ghana, West Africa, by a youth group and a community called the Adinkra Village, and it is a group that Sankofa Saturdays has adopted. And so we send things over to Ghana for this group that helps supply them with school supplies and different things for the children, and in return, they send things over to us. This Adinkra fabric and the symbols on it is one of the tools that's being used to teach the children their culture. All of these symbols are part of the Adinkra symbol family of Ghana, West Africa, which is very, very tied to the Virgin Islands, and the students are learning more about it by using the symbols. Each of these symbols represents an aspect of Kanaya's personality, and that's what helps us to remember him and continue to honor him and continue to bring him wherever we are, as part of the foundation of whatever we do. And that's why you'll see this everywhere we go until his queen comes back to the place and takes it, because we actually got it to pass it on to her just as we got the one before this and passed on to the wife of Jean Emmanuel. And we'll continue doing that whenever our elders pass so that we can continue learning from them. The stamps that were used to create this and the fabric for Jean Emmanuel are here on St. Thomas, and they're going to be used by the children to continue doing things with them. These are just little snippets of things that Sankofa Saturdays is trying to do. We could use more support in terms of just people being there. You don't have to have a skill, just people being there. And also in organizing at the beginning of every year. So in the summer we take a break. I focus on the summer camp, and I put the same mindset into the 4-H summer program. We'll start up again in the fall. Anyone that wants to spend some time with the youth, please have a talk with any of us at any time that you see us. Thank you. That's the one.
Cheer. This one for the children. I love to see the children playing, having fun, running around joyous and happy under the sun. No care in the world cause the heart's free. And for your birthday we gon' hold a big party. Yeah, celebrate your life, never hate your life. You gon' have but all the war and strife, but you gon' make it right. Enlighten yourself so you can see the light. Sit back and think about how to overcome the fight. Yeah, the fight against poverty, bad economy. There shouldn't be starvation in any colony. Some cures and remedies for all of these diseases. People listen to them, please. We're the children of the future. We're the future of this world. We're the children of the future. We're the future of this world. So save the children, raise the children, all the children.